People who have only fans, what is stopping you from upgrading to an air conditioner? We're about to move. Our central unit has been on the fritz since we moved in here, 6 years ago. My brother-in-law probably comes out 2 to 3 times a year to charge it up, and we decided not to have him out after this year's first warm front. We signed a contract about a month and a half ago on a house that comes with a much newer AC unit already installed, put in 3 years ago. It was still kind of cool down here and we decided no matter how hot it got, since we were moving anyway, we could fight through it. I can deal with hot and dry, but this hot and humid we have right now is pretty hard. We're in South/Central Texas. Only 4 more days though. Air conditioners can make it feel hard to breathe, frequently make me get mildly sick, and simply leave me shivering. I have an air conditioner, but rarely use it. I also have fans, but my favorite is just opening all the windows. The house is built to help keep it cool and it works surprisingly well. I moved here because I liked the climate, not because I wanted to fight it. Nothing more divine than being caressed by a cool breeze all day while also getting the benefits of being in a house. Also, air conditioning is expensive and hurts the planet. I don't like the experience of being frozen to death and coughing through dry gross air anyway, so it's an easy choice. I run it once a week or so, usually when I do a deeper clean, to keep the house healthy or on exceptionally hot nights. I actually have a serious answer for this. My house is super old, which means that my windows are the wrong size for portable or window air conditioners, and there are number 3-pronged outlets within 50 feet of the windows. And I'm renting, so not about to spend a bunch of money putting central air in my upstairs area. Thankfully, downstairs has central air, so it's only upstairs that I have to be creative with. Currently it's a mix of box fans, swamp cooler, and dehumidifier, so we'll see how it does with the Missouri summer. Yeah, I know my username says I'm from Colorado. I moved after I made this account. I live in a state that is cool/cold most of the year. Summers get warm, but most of the summer isn't bad. We have to suck it up and endure hot, humid weather maybe 14 days total. Frankly, it's not worth the effort of window units or the expense of installing a whole house unit. For those miserable days, the worst part is sleeping. So we've learned tricks like a cold shower right before bed and wearing a slightly damp t-shirt with a fan blowing right on us. It works. But to be honest, for super hot droughty summers where the heat goes on for weeks, we have broken down and put a tiny window unit in the bedroom. Weeks of no sleeping makes for cranky people. That doesn't happen often. I grew up pre-air conditioning. If you plant a big tree in the SW corner of your house, to shade the house strategically during the hottest part of the day, that's step 1. Step 2 is to open your windows at night when it's cool out, then close them before it gets hot in the morning. This seals the cooler air into the house. I did this in the 1990s and people always thought I had air conditioning. Of course, there are always a few days when it doesn't cool down at night. The easiest way to cool down in that case is to have a wet head. Put a wet towel over your head, etc. Most of the time I didn't even use a fan. Energy efficiency. I have a tiny USB fan that makes next to no noise while still having an okay airflow. It's not a big fan, but with it's quite handy because if it's hot in summer I can leave it on all night and have a tiny yet constant breeze that makes swamp pits and stuff go away, or at least just a bit more bearable. If it gets intolerable I put my feet in a bucket of water or have a wet cloth on my head, although this tends to drip around the place, so it is a suboptimal solution. Got a mobile one in my bedroom, but I can't install a fixed unit because my landlord doesn't allow it. Also, the placing wouldn't be easy because I live in an older town in Germany and the Denkmalschutz, monument protection, says that you can't alter the appearance. If I can do home office most of the time, after Corona is gone, I'll change all that and search a new apartment or house with air con, but right now, I'm just not allowed to. Although I misread this and thought it was a joke about amateur porn. I hate air conditioning. I do have it in my home, only recently installed actually, a compromise with my wife. I prefer fans if I am hot, but generally I'm not. Back in 1968 my dad put in central air. We were window fans before that. He only allowed the air to be turned on when he got home from work. Air conditioning was super expensive to own with the amount of electricity it took. I remember Mom complaining one month it was $150. In context, my 2,000 square foot home in August is $178. Their home was about 500 square feet smaller. So yeah, air conditioning was super expensive. Most people only had air conditioners in the living room using a window air conditioner. In the 53 years brought better insulation and efficiency in air conditioners and furnaces. Air conditioners have huge upfront costs and are expensive to maintain and just generally more expensive day in and day out. Plus you're committed to the same air conditioner for a decade or two until they finally wear out one day in the middle of summer. For pennies a day the fan serves most of the same purpose. And they're cheap, so if you're bored with it or want a different style you just go get a new one. Not to mention you can have more than one fan going at the same time as opposed to just the one air conditioner. I mean, honestly, a fan doesn't do everything an air conditioner, and while you won't feel quite as comfortable with the fan, mostly the end result is the same.